I just recently lost like 90% of my money, but I'm chilling.
Good.
Because
it's a good lesson.
Yeah, I learned a lot from it. Yeah, there's a lot of learning.
We've lost millions of dollars.
I guess, and I don't want to do the math on the fly, but technically I lost 120% of my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really messed up on that one. That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's part of it, man.
I went from a fictitious $10 million net worth to negative $2 million. So, that was fun.
Well, good job.
Yeah, and then 5 years. So March 18th was 5 years since I hit zero. This March 8th, I just celebrated 5 years to work my way back to zero. By the way,
and
zero's a good number.
Zero's a good number, bro. I celebrate zero. March 18th is there's a couple of things that fall on that date. We've started to figure this out. There seems to be some things that keep falling on the same days, but March 18th is a 0 day for me. So
that's crazy. March is a weird month for me too, man. Yeah. I've had a lot of life change in March every time.
Yeah, me too. I got some stuff in March, man. I got some deep shit there, but
it was a big month for Caesar.
Oh yeah.
Oh goodness.
But I don't know, man. March is rough, but yeah. So, can you say what you lost 90% on?
Good Lord, dude. All right.
Was it just a pandemic or?
No,
dude.
I could tell by there's something else there.
No, so I'm just a lot sweeter than most people, and I don't like realize that because I'm so hard on myself because I really want to like be a champion version of myself.
Yeah.
And be a champion for my people, like the people that have had similar upbringings, etc. And so I got called up one day from a friend of mine saying, hey, I work at this racetrack in Rockingham, and the person that owns it said that I could make some money on the side throwing events there because, they may as well. They don't have a lot going on there. It's like, would you be interested in, throwing an event with me, an EDM one? I'm like, okay. And the reason why he asked me is because he went to one of my like overnight rave things, it was awesome. It was right before pandemic. And I'm like, okay, let me go check it out. I go down there. It's cool as shit. I'm like, wow, yeah, this would be really awesome. Like, what is this going to cost, et cetera. He's like, well, we're getting the space for free. And, it's just whatever. Let's just keep it small, et cetera. I'm like, okay, let's do like a few hundred people at most. And, I have some friends, and I got a really good deal on the sound system. And got these lighting guys through that, and I really put all the puzzle pieces together, and I'm like, yeah, I got good deals on this stuff to where it only costs $8 to $9 grand to put the event together, which is incredible for.
No, that's great, yeah.
For the quality,
something I mean, size.
Nuts. Like world class sound system, the lighting's nuts. The whole lineup.
I was thinking 80 or 90 grand.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right, because it's just I've built certain credit with a lot of people through just really caring and really trying, and it pays off sometimes, and it allows you to do things much cheaper than you usually would because you have different intentions, so the world just supports it a little different. So I put this event together, incredible lineup, just music quality with all the best of intentions, no frills and gimmicks, no like vendors that are selling rocks that say change your heart frequency and all of a sudden your problems are going to go away type stuff. Like just sticking to the art. Like it's just a good party with wonderful house and techno music and a great environment and not trying to do too much. And I put this thing together where, behind the scenes, the production side of it was just, gorgeous. And I had this wonderful team to put it on. We have great ideas about keeping people safe and camping, etc. And so I took care of all that. And then there's a few pieces other people were supposed to do. People that were not, within my project. And every time somebody else had something to do, they just never got it accomplished. It did not matter how small the task was. And if anything, it, made it harder. And then over time, I already had like a full plate. And then the project got harder and harder because I had to then do pretty much everything. And then people caused problems that didn't need to be there. And then, come to find out the business infrastructure behind it changes. They had a new manager come in, and I don't have any like ill intent or I guess bad feelings towards any of these people, by the way. So when I'm saying this isn't like it was just a learning experience for me. They didn't do anything necessarily personal to me. But they're people that, have a lot of wealth and a lot of money, but they're not a lot of wealth and a lot of money through the arts. I'm an artist first and foremost. So when I go and do something, I'm doing it for the art of it, not for the current standard that typically is. And the current standard in like the party world is, I think horrible in terms of how money is made and how they look at art and how they book and what kind of music is the most popular and exposed to people. I think it's atrocious personally. So I try to do a really good job with it and have my own little world, and I was willing to like lose all of that, most of that money, and not be a big deal. Then I ended up having to like pay more to promote it extra, and then because of the reputation of certain people totally outside of me, it impacted people wanting to go. And then because I made the tickets affordable, people were literally saying it was a scam because I wasn't trying to like make a lot of money off them. I was just trying to lose a few grand to put on the event. Like I was trying to lose money. I was like, yeah, let me make this is the ticket price so that people can really afford it and have a really good time, really experience this, and we can try it out the right way. And I know I'll learn so much that it's worth $3 or $4 grand. Well, we literally sent promotional teams out to like different cities, and we got like something like 90,000 eyes on it from trackable metrics online. And tickets were doing horrible at first, and then over time they started ramping up, and then people were complaining about the price, and I was just like rolling my eyes because people's gauge of quality and value is just I don't think very good, at least in that industry. So I even lowered the price, and I'm like, whatever, I'll lose more money. I just want people to come and have a good time. And over time, that became more and more the thing, is that I just want people to come and have a good time, for it to be safe. So I spared no expense to do that. And, said, I'll lose $6-7 grand, but I'll be fine because, our events usually make money and we're doing quite well, etc. So as long as, we sell a decent amount of tickets, which we absolutely were, we were actually going to sell more than I originally thought we would. So then the event starts Friday, right? And this has been in talks for like 3 or 4 months, and I've been waiting on a contract for that long, but I just took their word because nothing seemed all too fishy, and I spent a whole like 4 days there prior really making sure there was nothing I could have missed, so I did everything I was supposed to do. Well, literally every day after that, I found out something else that got messed up. I found out something else that didn't get followed through with. I found out something else that was totally out of my control and wasn't communicated between people. And then Tuesday comes along and the event's Friday for like a pretty massive undertaking. And then I get told, well, that this cost that you asked about for literally months, is there going to be any like last second costs? And I was told, no, there's nothing coming up. And then I'm told, well, we need to get at least like $500 to cover a certain thing. And at this point, I'd spent so much on promotion that I could not recover. It was not possible. Like, I would say 85 to 90% of the money to spend on the event, the cost of it, is stuff that I spent the money on I couldn't recover. The only things to push through and make the event happen would have been another maybe 10% of the cost, so like almost nothing. So Tuesday I get that, and I'm like, that's kind of fishy. That's kind of weird. And then I still didn't get the contract. I'm like, okay, I'll pay that, I guess. It's not a big deal, right, in the grand scheme of things. And then Wednesday I get a call, and then I expressed that to the person that in the first place reached out to me saying, hey, do you want to throw this party, etc. I ended up doing all the work for it, and he didn't follow through on certain things like security backing out last second, and all this stuff totally out of my hands that I was told was under control up until 2 days before. Everything was good because there's only a few things to do. And then Wednesday comes along, and I get called and I get told, hey, bad news, we can't do BYOB anymore, which was like a main selling point of the event, and which made it safe too. And because you can't do BYOB anymore, it means that people are going to drink. They're going to find a way to drink, but that means that now we can't do a lock-in style thing, which keeps everybody protected and safe. We had security on staff. We had everything, 10 p.m., et cetera, which also means cops can't come in at that point. So now people are going to have to go to their cars, which then the tropical storm hit. Then going to their cars is another, like, extension of safety, et cetera. So, like, pulling the BYOB thing last second, Wednesday night, when this event's supposed to start Friday, and there's most of my money into this, and all of this time and effort from a bunch of people, expectations, etc. And then I just kept thinking about it. I'm like, there's no way I could do this event safely anymore. It's just not possible because there's just so much to it, and they're still working on the infrastructure there. A tropical storm hit and poured on that place, so then it's going to be like muddy and sloppy, and like God forbid, just bit by bit by bit, I know this cannot be done safely. And I knew the moment I pulled it that there's no way to recover that money. And I had to refund like thousands of dollars of tickets. I had to go through painstakingly and be like, this is just coming from my bank account.
Yeah.
Everything is. So I like had to cancel the event, and it sucked so much. And then a lot of people around me obviously got quite upset about it, and pretty much
Well, shit happens. I mean,
took
they've
their
got
frustration out of me.
the
And
understanding about it. At least you
Yeah.
paid them back. So
yeah, and a lot of people came through woodworks and were like, "Hey, man, that really sucks." You know, they could have been upset, but they were like, keep the like, let's say a few $100s worth of tickets. They're like, yeah, just keep that to cover some of your costs.
That's
Very
cool.
sweet, yeah. But I couldn't, like, I would have at most lost like $2 or $3 grand if I would have pushed through with the event at most, because I saw the tickets coming in, I saw the numbers coming in, so I had to like literally sit there and say, okay, I'm gonna go into debt, but I can't do this safely. And I could have done it ethically. Like, I took all the precautions. I had all the things lined up.
Right.
But it's like, I just can't justify what could have happened from like one person going and driving off drunk, or one person on a different form of substance going to their car and getting caught by a cop or something like that, or, you know, in the middle of the country. God forbid one girl gets like abused or something. And I just knew, because of that lack of being able to lock in and that BYOB having to be a thing, they have to go to their cars to then do that and facilitating that. I just knew we couldn't do it safely, and I didn't feel good about it at that point. So I had to pull it.